Hey Truth Seekers, it's Nathaniel here with another deck profile. Today I'm going to be covering Levi, Hope, and Holy Spirit. Levi has the unique ability that says you may place up to 2 power cards from your hand into your power pool per turn. So it lets you play 2. It's pretty good. Now, I'm going to start off with 5 Hope cards and 3 Holy Spirit power cards. Okay? Since Levi can play a bunch of power cards in a single turn, you want to be able to see them. We have 8 here, which is usually about the same amount that we like to run in all of our decks. However, I do have extra Holy Spirit this time, and there's a reason for that, which I'll go over shortly. Start off with our equipment. We have Scarlet Cord. The animal to whom this card is attached may either be returned to your hand or discarded from your small group at any time during your setup phase. If you choose to discard it, you may search your deck for any Animo with an equal or lesser VP placed in your hand. This card must be discarded once the action is used. Then we got 3 Pulse Chains. The animal to whom this card is attached may not be activated, but must be discarded at any time during your setup phase. Once per turn, as long as this card's attached to an animal in your small group, you search your deck for up to 2 level 1 ammo, place them in your small group if there's any room in your small group. If there is not any room in your small group, this card cannot be used. Alright, then I have 4 story cards. I have Giant Killer, which allows us to either search for a Mega Cine, reveal it to our opponent, or, if you're facing the Mega Cine, return it to the owner's hand and shuffle it back into their deck. Pause Maw says place this card in the active Cine spot or next to it. No opponent may reveal a Cine to you on their next turn. At the beginning of your next turn, remove this card as well as all other copies of Pause Maws from your hand, deck, or discard pile from the game. And we have the Runaway. The Runaway says select any animal in your discard pile and return it to your hand. Very helpful. And Indwelling. Indwelling says search your deck for up to 2 Holy Spirit power cards and place them in your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. Levi's probably the only True Seeker I feel comfortable running the Indwelling with, mostly because it's a story card that searches for 2 power cards, and if I'm searching for power cards, I want to play them, and I can only play 1 per turn. Levi says I can play 2 per turn, so Indwelling's perfect for this deck. Next up are my Cinis. My Cinis are all based around messing with my opponent's small group. So this is Bob Bubble. Bob Bubble has the ability that says, as long as the Cine remains active, your opponent may not have any more than 1 Animo of the same name in their small group at a time. Grump Roast. As long as the Cine remains active, your opponent may not have any more than 3 Animo in their small group at a time. If they have 3 Animo in their small group when this card is revealed, they must discard it down to 3. Fear Crow says, choose 1 level 2 or level 3 Animo in your opponent's small group. Revert that animal back to its level 1 by having your opponent shuffle the growth stages for that animal back into their deck. Spladapidator. Action. When this card is revealed, your opponent must shuffle half of the animal in their small group back into their deck, rounding up. And Nash Tree. It says any Animo and cards attached that remain your opponent's small group on the following turn must be shuffled back into their deck. Then we have the Mega Cine. Lorkai Mega that says action. Select up to 1 of your opponent's animals in a small group, flip it over. As long as this Cine is active, that animal may not be interacted with in any way. Then we have Venommouth Mega. It says action. Your opponent may not activate any level 1 animal on their next turn. And Fear Crow Mega Plus, which says your opponent may not play any cards from their hand on their next turn. Nasty Cines. Alright. Next up for our Animo, we have 2 Hoofits, which lets us to discard this card from our hand, choose any 3 cards from our discard pile, shuffle back deck, excluding this card. We have 1 Servitude due to room reasons, otherwise I'd like to run 2. But he says once per turn, you may draw 1 card for each Faith, Hope, or Holy Spirit Animo in your small group. Hope Raise, because we need a little protection. Its ability says as long as this card's in your small group, ignore the effects from any actions of any Cines revealed to you. And Flow Ultra. Flow Ultra has the swap ability. It says you may discard this card from your small group. If you do, search your deck for any 3 Animo, reveal them and place them in your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. Next, I have 2 Strider who also have a swap ability. It says that this card's in your small group, and your small group is full. You may choose to swap it with a level 1 Animo in your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. We're not running Strider level 2 in this, although he would be pretty good in it. We have 2 Fos. Fos is actually a 1 for 5 fellowship bonus. It's not an ability. Man, I've been so used to reading abilities on the cards, I forget I have some cards that are just vanillas. Alright. Then we have Gut Piece from Cross Trainers, level 1. Ability. When you play this card from your hand into your small group, you may search your deck for 1 Faith or Hope Animo and shuffle your deck afterwards. Next up is Gut Piece level 2. It says, when this card is played from your hand to your small group to grow Gut Piece level 1, you may reshuffle your hand into your deck and draw 6 cards. So I use this strategy in the Levi deck that we normally run. The Link deck that we normally run, and it allows us to basically just keep shuffling our hand back in our deck to just draw more cards. Drawing more cards gives us more opportunity to have more power cards in hand, so that allows us to use Levi's ability a whole lot more. Next up, we got Hybrid level 1. Hybrid level 1 is a 2 for 3. Grows in the Hybrid level 2, which is what we're looking for here. It says ability. We're running 2 of those. It says, when this card is played from your hand to grow Hybrid level 1, you may search your deck for 1 standard power card and place in your power pool. Very helpful in getting more power cards. Hybrid level 3. Action. Search your deck for up to 2 Virtuous Animo that are either level 2 or level 3. It's pretty helpful. Next up is the card that we use to substitute all the draw power in our deck. Or draw story cards, because it's Hightail. Hightail has the ability once per turn. You can shuffle this hand card from your hand to your deck. You may choose to reveal it to your opponent. You choose to reveal this card to your opponent, and your opponent shuffles it or you shuffle it back into your deck, and if you do, draw 3 cards. Then we have 2 Swimmers with the 5 Fellowship bonus here. Has the action, search your deck for 1 standard power card. Place it directly in your power pool. Shuffle your deck afterwards. It's helpful, but it's also here for the Fellowship bonus, not just for the action. Then we have 2 Gazooms. Gazoom is a 3 for 12, so this is on par with a lot of Ultras, but it has a universal cost that you have to shuffle back, so we can shuffle back our Holy Spirit power cards if we need to get them out of the way. But being a 3 for 12 is pretty good. Next up, we have Quillo, who's a 1 for 3. And we are running Quillo level 2, who has the action. It says, search your deck for any 1 story card or 1 power card, reveal them, and place them in your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. So Quillo, much like Indwelling, has this thing where I'm going to grab a power card and a story card. Next turn, I might draw into another power card. It will feel bad if I do. However, it feels less bad with Levi because Levi lets me play both those power cards. Now it also lets me get a story card, meaning I can grab Indwelling if I need to. So that's kind of fun. Next up, Socro level 1. When we play this card from our hand into our small group, we get a draw card. And Socro level 2, who's a 2 for 9, has the ability, says when this card is played from your hand, grows Socro level 1. You may shuffle your hand back in your deck and draw 5 cards, which is also really good. And then finally, we have Conqueror Ultra, which has the ability, says as long as the card's in your small group, any hope costs that you shuffle back on your Animo may be instead treated as regular hope cost. So that way I can avoid having to shuffle back my power cards. And with that, bring this back into focus here. We have completed our Levi, Hope, and Holy Spirit deck profile. So in the meantime, Truth Seekers, keep learning virtues and defeating Sinnies.